Hi, everyone. I'm Mel Robertson, and I'd like to welcome you to the Dare to Dream Bigger Summit, where you're learning how to harness the power of creation, get clear about your desires, and bring your biggest dream into reality. I'm really excited to share with you the expert I have for you today. Her name is Lynnea Hagen, and her motto for business in her life is, life's too short to do it halfway. And she brings that passion into everything she does. She is a speaker, trainer, author, consultant, and the owner of the Abundance Company, specializing in advanced leadership skills and success-driven strategic business plans for entrepreneurs and corporate professionals. She has been a consultant to Silicon Valley-based corporations since 1981 and a coach to corporate professionals since 1986. Prior to starting her own consulting and coaching firm, Lynnea developed processes and ran programs for Disney and Quaker State Oil, was director for 2 technical consulting and recruiting companies, and a consultant for AT&T Pacific Bell in the commercial sales and marketing division, serving top global companies. Her client list includes Cisco, HP, Xerox, Advanced Micro Devices, Genentech, Intel, the University of California, county and city governments, and numerous small and emerging businesses. What a pleasure it is to have you here, Lynnea. Welcome.
Well, thank you. I'm thrilled to be able to be part of this grand endeavor you've put together. It's exciting.
Well, thanks so much for being here. It's been really exciting for me putting it all together, getting all this great content for everyone. So before we get started, I always like to give my experts an opportunity to just share a little bit more about themselves on a personal level so our audience can get to know you a little better. Would you mind doing that?
Absolutely not. Gosh, what would I share about myself? On a personal level, I was a single mother. I have twin sons that are entrepreneurs. We all own our own businesses at this point. That's kind of fun. I live in Silicon Valley, and the work that I'm actually doing with my clients now is based around purpose. And I'm just finishing a book, my second book, called Stuckness. Get unstuck, get going, get great. And
I love that.
And thank you. And the next one is going to be on purpose. And purpose is different from mission and objectives and goals. Purpose is the reason why you're here. And when we discover that and we define that, and where it hits that deep part of who we are, that we know, yes, this is who I am, this is my identity, and this is why I'm here on earth, it ignites a passion and a drive that absolutely keeps you from slowing down. And it's been such a ride for me. And, it's amazing how it impacts your energy and the sense of who you are, and lifts you up and gives you greater joy. So that's what I want for everybody, and that's the work that I'm doing now with business owners and directors of corporations and nonprofits, that type of thing. And then I go from that into leadership, and how do we develop leadership based on this in a way that is filled with courage and authenticity and being of service to others, and being a person of trust and truth, and a loving person, but also effective in the work you do. And those are the CASTLE principles, spelled out CASTLE, as it turns out. And that's the work that I've been doing now for a while through my certification with the Secretan Center. And anyway, so it just builds everything together into something that I call the ecosystem of success. And because organically, not only we, but our businesses are actually part of an ecosystem. And so we need to tend all the different areas of that in order to be fully who we're meant to be. That was a long answer. Sorry.
That's okay. There's something that you mentioned that I don't think our audience is familiar with. You mentioned the Secretan Center. Could you tell us a little more about that?
Yes. Probably 12 years ago, I went to an international coaching conference and heard Lance Secretan, who is from Canada. I heard him speak, and he left the entire audience, several hundred people, silent. I mean, that's how impactful it was. And I said to myself, someday I'm going to work with this man. And this was a dream of mine. You know, we're talking about the subject of dreams right now. And I thought, gosh, there's no way that's ever going to happen. But as time evolved, he actually asked me to come up and work with him and become a certified pathfinder, which is somebody who can facilitate and teach the principles of the higher ground leadership. And so I actually went to Canada and worked with him, and then became a higher ground leadership certified coach. And now he's my mentor, and I've been working with him, you know, working on some proposals to some corporations based on the work. And the Secretan Center last month was awarded through a leadership publication and organization the top award for top international leadership consulting company in the world.
Wow, wonderful.
And the work that is being done is so impactful. He's been working with companies all over the world, as well as school districts and universities, and the results are always the same, that when the leaders come in with a sense of purpose, and they become inspiring people, and they become these higher ground leaders, and they come in with the heart that says, what I want for myself, what my dreams, you know, I want to achieve my dreams. That's what I want for you people too. That's what I want for everybody. How can we all achieve our dreams together? And then that goes out to a community and makes better communities. Mm-hmm. So it's incredible, impactful work, and I'm really, really humbled and thrilled to be able to have that as now the basis for what I do.
I really like that. Now, through this work, you've also created a model called the ecosystem of success. Could you tell us a little bit more about that, what it is exactly?
Yeah, it's, well, I'm kind of a visual person, and for many years I've been working with companies on business plans. And I use a one-page business plan. I've been licensed and certified in that for a long time. Very, very, very powerful clarification tool to help kind of get all this stuff that's kind of floating out there, you know, and in your mind and possibilities and all the stuff you're trying to do, and synchronizing it and giving you a path. And so it's laid out. I lay it out like a pyramid, but it kind of looks, you know, like a pyramid, a triangle. And then you start, you know, and the very top is the vision you're trying to achieve. But I go beyond that. I go first with a personal definition of success, because what you're doing professionally is just your vehicle to get you to what you really want, your dreams for your life, for your family, for what the difference you want to make in the world, that type of thing. So let's start with that definition first, and then start working down from that to the broader base of the smaller things we can do this month or this quarter. So it looks like, you know, so I set it up like a pyramid. But when I started doing this deep purpose work, the purpose is so deeply tied, deep into to kind of the universe, the core of what we're from and who we're about and what we're about, that it kind of drives right up through the middle of this pyramid and out through the top. And the pyramid, all the parts of this pyramid kind of hang off of it. And then the coaching work, and I started looking at it anyway. I started looking at it and thought, oh, my gosh, that looks like what I used to draw as a Christmas tree when I was a kid. So it's got a base and it's got a little triangle on top. And so when I started doing coaching work, I started teaching, and I taught through the Extension campus at San Jose State and, you know, speaking at different groups and that type of thing. I started teaching on all these environments of who we are. It's called Extreme Self-Care. It was through Coachville, this wonderful program. And the thing is, just all these little things that make up who we are. That's a clutter in our office, a broken handle on a drawer that keeps coming off and frustrates you. It's something that's wrong with your car. It's the relationships you have and the fights you have with your kid before you take off for work. All this stuff is taking their attention and energy and kind of bleeding you away from feeding that purpose, feeding the things you're trying to achieve in the uppermost part, which is success and your vision and all the steps necessary to get there. And those are really, like, all these things provide the root system. People don't, they don't think about it, but our brain and our energies are trying to take care of it. So all these things became the roots underground that feed the purpose, and feed it or bleed it.
Right.
It's a fertilizer or a poison. And then as I got more into the higher ground leadership work, I wanted to focus on, of course, what the leadership characteristics were, the courage and authenticity and service and trust and love and effectiveness. And I put that up above the tree, and I showed all these things as kind of like the rain. The leadership is the rain that nurtures not everything above and in the business and how you're trying to achieve what you want, dream about and what you want, but it also soaks down into the ground and affects the roots.
Mm.
And then the sunshine are the values you bring. And when you live your life and you run your business with these high set of values, that's the sun. And so for this whole organism, the fruits of your labors and who you are and how well it's being fed and watered and how much light you're shining on it, all that is a product of the fruit is all the product of the tree and what it's how it grows is all a product of this whole ecosystem. And to be fully great and to fully live into our dream and be fully who we are and are capable of being, we've got to have all that stuff in place and have it cleaned up. Mm. We really do. And so it takes work because we have to shine a light on all of it. And we've got to have a huge amount of integrity with ourselves and expect integrity in people we deal with. Mm-hmm. And actually, I have a website. It's just ecosystemofsuccess.com, and on it, it's just one or two pages with a description. It's kind of like a white paper, but there is the picture of this organism, and the organism is us. It can also be our business, and our business or what we do is really a reflection of who we are. Our success in life, how easily we move through life, is really a reflection of who we are. We bring all we do into everything we do, whether we like it or not.
There's no way around it.
There's no way around it. You don't unplug yourself from the fact that you're not eating healthy. You don't unplug yourself from the fact that you're not getting enough rest. You don't unplug yourself from the fact that you have horrible, that your thinking is off. It's called memetics, and that's what one of the roots is. It's memetics. That's your thoughts and your beliefs. And what we think about and what we believe is really going to be reflected in the results we're getting in the people and relationships and stuff. So it really is a cleaning out process, but it's just the greatest trip in the world.
Mm. I really like that. I like the way that it's all organized and put together. And for those of you who can't see the picture, if you do go to the Ecosystem of Success website, the picture's right there, and it's really clear. It's a really good picture to look at. I actually have it right in front of me, so if you have a chance to go do that, please take a look at it. And talking about this model, I like to also, because this is the Dare to Dream Bigger Summit, give my experts a time to talk about some of the big dreams that they've manifested in their lives. So if you feel comfortable, I'd love for you to share some that you have.
Oh, my gosh. Well, one dream that I had, I wanted to be an international speaker, and I wanted to speak on cruise ships. Because I lived on a cruise ship when I was in college and studied and absolutely love it. But I want to continue.
What a fantastic experience!
Oh, it was wonderful. We actually sailed around the world my junior year in college. And,
oh wow!
Well, I thought it would fulfill my wanderlust, my desire to travel, and of course it didn't. It just made it worse. And but I thought, how can I live out two things that are huge loves for me? And one is travel, and the other one is the work that I do. Mm-hmm. Helping people be great, helping, none of us know what we're fully capable of, and so
no, we don't.
I'm working into that still, and I'm 67, I know you can't believe that, but I am.
No.
Because I'm just a child. I'm still this child of the universe.
Yeah.
I don't know how the universe is going to be still unfolding for me, and I'm learning so much. So anyway, and I did that. Anyway, I taught a couple workshops on board a cruise ship. This opportunity came. I saw it pass in front of my eyes, and I raised my hand. And I said, I want to do that. And sometimes that's all we need to do is to achieve our dreams. Is just hang out and when you see something, say, I want to do that, even if you've never done it before. It doesn't matter, because if that dream is in you, then it's put there for a reason, and the powers needed and the knowledge and support needed to get there will come forth. It's just stepping out in courage. Absolutely will. And I'm sure, Mel, you know that. I mean, doing this summit and everything.
Yeah.
It's an incredible thing. And so that was one dream that I had. But it's funny because I've done so much really since my marriage broke up 7.5 years ago. Some out of the most horrible things gives you the most fertilizers to grow. And it just getting rid of this really, it was a really, to say it was a poor match is really an understatement. I mean, Scott takes two healthy people, and I'm really healthy, I try to be. But anyway, I'm not going to say any more. But it was a really, really painful thing for me. And but it's amazing the doors that opened, things I was not looking for, because it cleaned out so much of the root system and provided really healthy fertilizer. It's either fertilizer or it's the other stuff. It's my choice.
Right.
So I said, well,
exactly.
how can I grow in this? So people came forward, and one of the first things that happened was that just out of the blue, I got an email in 2008 asking if I would consider having doing a live talk radio show on advanced leadership skills. Now, I was not looking to do a live talk radio show, but here's what I did want. I wanted to be known as somebody who did work for advanced leadership, like the spiritual, purpose-based leadership. And I wasn't there yet, but you know what I did? I put it on my website that's what I did, because that was my dream.
Awesome.
I put it down there in my website. And so this radio company, it was Motivox, which is a big broadcasting company, and they have a lot of internet channels, found me and asked me if I would consider doing this. And I mean, I was blown away, and I was terrified. And I said, sure. And I thought, if nothing else, I'm going to learn something about advanced leadership. So I applied. They told me to give them 13 weeks of programming, and I thought, what would I do? So I went back and some of my books from graduate school, and I thought, okay, I'm going to see the different sides of leadership, and leaders as being a servant, and so one of the things I did when I gave them this proposal is I took the one element of leadership that felt kind of risky, and that was a leader as a servant. And I wasn't going to include that, but I thought, I've got to be true to myself. I've got to be courageous about that and have integrity of what I believe. And I believe the best leaders are servants. So I put that as one of the 13 programs. It's talking about the leader as servant. And I had, a few conversations with the producer, and we just, clicked really well. And he called me a couple days after I submitted a proposal, along with my list of dream guests who I would like to have. And he said, Lynnea, guess what? We've chosen you to do the radio show. And I said, what? I mean, that's not, to myself, that's not what I said. It was a little bit more
right.
More R-rated.
Right. Some expletives in there.
And he laughed, and he said, well, that was not the response. And I said, no, it's going to be fine. I'm thinking to myself, oh, crud, I've got to really do this. And I said, well, so Stefan, please tell me that, I wasn't the only applicant. No, he said, we had a lot of applicants. We narrowed it down to the top 5. And I said, why did you choose me? He said, "You were the only one who talked about servant leadership."
Oh, wow.
So I think that is a really good example of just, I wanted to be known as somebody for advanced leadership skills, and the door just opened because I took that courageous step to say, you know what, this isn't true someday, but by putting it out there, it's going to become more true.
Exactly. I love that you did that. You just claimed it, you owned it, you put it on your website, and then the universe showed up for you. And that's what it does for us.
The universe showed up for me. And then a couple of years later, I was talking to a woman I knew who'd written a few books, and kind of very spiritual books about people and stuff like that, and how to achieve your goals and dreams, and how to work together as a community. And there's something that I really understood about where I live, Silicon Valley. There's a great spirit of something here, and when people move here from the areas, they can feel it. It's a sense of possibility, a sense of human potential. The air just kind of crackles, and it really is a place to kind of achieve your dreams. And so I told this friend, she's writing a book about Hawaii in the spirit of aloha, and I said, "Oh, Leah, we need to write a book about Silicon Valley. There is a spirit here." And I would just talk to people in the line at Safeway, and I'd say, what do you think? And they said, "Absolutely, we feel it."
Oh, wow.
And so she said, "Well, so I co-authored this book, and promoted it and everything, and became a little bestseller on Amazon, so I've never done that before. And so you just say yes. As a little opportunity, just say yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the dreams start to unfold.
Now, before you were able to start saying yes to the big opportunities, did you have to learn to start saying yes to the small opportunities? And kind of what did that look like for you?
Oh, gosh. I don't know what small opportunities are. I guess small opportunities would be just kind of getting out there in the first place, joining things. And that was scary for me. I'm an extrovert, but extroverts can still be insecure and shy. And so I'd say that was probably the scariest small opportunities. And then through that, and I was forced really by the breakup of my marriage, because I thought I need to be surrounded by women. I need to get in some women's groups, and so there was, I joined a board of directors, National Association of Women Business Owners, which and I hate meetings, but I thought this is a way to serve. I wanted to serve, and stepping up and using my voice. So it taught me a lot. It taught me a huge amount. So little things. I'm just kind of, I guess I'm just kind of a wild woman at some level, to just try things anyway. And I think probably just at a young age at 20, doing this voyage around the world helped with that.
Yeah, but, absolutely.
Yeah, and I was a single mom. I raised my sons alone from the time they were 5, and then I got remarried when they were 22. And so I guess that the smaller dreams was to just have experiences with my sons so they would have a balanced life. And so to raise confident kids, even though there wasn't a dad who was really involved. And so it was scary, but I would, just the three of us, I taught them to camp. We'd go camping. And I had women in campgrounds who say, "Are you camping alone with those 2 little boys in that little tent?" And I'd say, "Yeah." And they'd say, "Well, I could never do that." And I said, you could.
Yep.
If you don't have any other choice, whether to do it alone or do it or not do it, you would do it. And you just figure out how to do it. So it was little things like that of being, wanting to take them to baseball games. I'm not a baseball fan. But, so I think that probably the stepping forward comes from a deeper purpose and somehow that's connected to love for yourself, love for the work you do, love for humanity, love for the people you love.
I love that. And for our listeners out there who are feeling some hesitation for taking such a big leap of faith like Lynnea did, you can take little steps towards your dreams. Just move in the direction of your dreams. You know, if you wanted to be a hockey player or something, go to hockey games or something. Get yourself involved and move in the direction of your dreams. Just do little things that you wouldn't normally do that are in the direction of your dreams that allows the universe to step up and meet you.
That's absolutely true. It's just, you know, it's the little steps that, you know, that get you across the continent. But you don't look at the continent. You just have to say, what is there one thing? What one thing can I do today?
Exactly.
To move me closer to my dreams, and maybe just be getting a book, or maybe just, you know, starting a blog and just kind of writing a little bit every day, or once a week. And you know, there's so many little things. Get a little Twitter account, whatever, you know, and put it out there. You know, you may not have any followers, but you know what, you're doing something that's closer to that for you.
Exactly. An example that I have in my own life is my wife and I are currently in the process of knowing that we want a little getaway in Palm Springs. And we started talking about that, and we have no idea how the universe is going to bring it into fruition for us, but we just know that we need to move in that direction. So we started moving in that direction, and we would spend some time there. And I put a couple business cards out one weekend when we went to spend there, and after us doing that, I came home, and like a day later, someone had called me from just putting 2 business cards up at 2 different places. I had already got a job in Palm Springs. So just following the breadcrumbs that the universe is bringing it all to us. It's just stepping into that. It's like getting the little signs. And then I had another job with a local client here in San Diego who, you know, lives in Palm Springs part-time and San Diego part-time and has great contacts there. So the universe is bringing all these things into our field so that we know that it's happening. It's just a beautiful thing. The minute that you start stepping in, the universe will meet you. I promise.
Well, you know, the thing is, you know, the universe and the source from what, you know, what we all came from in the universe is all love.
Right.
The negativity that exists is in the mind of people.
Love is really all there is.
It absolutely is. But I think the hardest thing is to love ourselves first and to just open up our arms and accept that it's all there for us. And you know, and that was there for me. And you know what another step is, and this is not a small step. Last year, I was asked to be part of a new play, and it was kind of like the vagina monologues type of thing with women, individual women telling their stories. And this was called Opening Pandora's Box, and it's about stories of truth and hope. And we all wrote our own stories, and I'm not going to go into all the details of mine, but I've experienced, I think, from starting at a young age when my sister was killed, had a hugely impactful effect on my life, and that kind of spiraled into other things, and you know, of course, the family never really recovers. And so I told about that, and then how the spiral started taking place. But in rehearsals, I started talking about something that was an outgrowth of it when I was in college that I hadn't really shared with anybody. I may be a therapist, but you know, I was married twice. My kids, my family, nobody knew about some of this. Neither one of my husbands. And I shared it with over and over again in rehearsal with my other cast members, and there were a total of 8 of us. And that sharing and that getting out and talking to people what you feel is the most ugliest and disgusting and shameful thing of your life is probably the most empowering and loving thing you can do for yourself. And it will unleash courage, and it will unleash your authenticity, and it will give you more energy than anything you could possibly do, because otherwise your mind, your psyche, your body is trying to hold it down. It's so deeply internalized. And so if somebody wants fuel to really move ahead, And the thing is, people won't judge you. Those that will don't belong in your life anyway.
Right.
But the thing is, people will not judge you because of the things you've experienced. Because nobody comes through life unscathed, and it gives other people permission to say, "Gee, that was awful, and I've got a story of my own to share."
Yeah.
It was the most freeing and courageous. I'm going to do it again. If we have a reprise of the play, I'd get on there and do it again. And it was I've never been so frightened in my life. But that's also a good step. Look at inside yourself things that maybe you feel are too dirty. And I started talking about my eating disorders and stuff that I had, and I wouldn't talk to anybody about that because I had this public persona. I was a speaker, a teacher, an author, and I thought, you know what? If somebody's going to judge me on that, then that's their issue.
Exactly. I love the saying that those who matter don't judge, and those who judge don't matter.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of people out there, and actually, most people are pretty cool about that, and those that are so stuck in their judgment of themselves that they have to judge everybody else, then they're probably not somebody who's going to be healthy to have in your life anyway.
Exactly. Wow, Lynnea, this has been such an amazing interview. I think that we've delivered a lot of great content for all of our listeners. Thank you so much for being a part of it.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for inviting me. I just really appreciate it. And can I mention a couple of things I'm doing?
Sure, absolutely. And I do want to give you a moment. I know you're offering a free gift as well for everyone to take advantage of, so you could talk about that a little bit as well so they know how to get that. And that for everybody listening, the free gift that she's offering, there's a link to it in the email that came with this interview. So it'll be right there for you to get access to it.
Okay. There's, I have a book that I'm getting out, and it's on the Internet. The name of the book is Stuckness. Get unstuck, get going, get great. And then I have another one that will be a follow-up to that in the next couple of months on purpose.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure what the full title of that is going to be. So I'm offering the book. And then also I am offering a free teleseminar. This December 4th. And the seminar is on putting together a purpose-supported business plan for the next year. And so it's help define your own personal meaning of success and then all the steps needed to create a pathway to get there. And I'm partnering with a friend of mine who's an artist. And after we do that, there'll be an opportunity for people on the teleseminar to actually do workshops with me on creating the plan and have the personal coaching, and then we're all going to work together to do vision boards.
Oh, wonderful.
Much bigger than you ever would have done before. So, that's kind of the follow-up.
Excellent. And did you have any last words you'd like to share with our audience before we close? Yeah, I do. Against all odds, love yourself first. Yeah.
And everything else will follow, and love will follow you.
I love that. Thank you so much, Lynnea. It's been such a pleasure having you here. Thank you. Yeah, it's been great, and many blessings to you, and many blessings to anybody who is listening to this. Excellent. Thanks so much.